Okay. Our next question.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr Abbott. My name is Vicky and I'm an ex-teacher and now full-time mum. My question is this. Why do you persist with the scaremongering by insisting that with the introduction of a price on carbon, the coal industry faces certain demise, when the facts are, according to the Financial Review only yesterday, that the coal industry in Queensland, the biggest producer of coal in Australia by far, will increase production by a massive 45% over the next decade? Mr Abbott, you know that the success of the coal industry is tied to the development of Asian communities and their dependence on Australian coking coal for steel manufacturing to build their economies. I feel that you will oppose anything that the government puts forward, regardless of its merit, just for your political expediency. The advocating of the collapse of the biggest coal-producing industry in the world, right here in Queensland, is both alarmist and irresponsible. Will you be more circumspect in your claims about the pricing of carbon in the future?
Well, Vicky, what do you think about Bob Brown? Is he being alarmist and irresponsible?
Well, what I say to that is that the coal industry will continue because we need coal for production of steel. But my question is in regard to your espousing that the coal industry is under threat.
Yeah, but what about Bob Brown? He says we want to phase out coal, we must phase out coal.
Well, this is being brought in by the Labor government.
Yeah, but Bob Brown is the one who is,
Bob Brown is not
the co-author of this, but he is the co-author of this tax.
That hasn't gone through.
Well, okay. Is it?
Can you answer my question in regard to what you're saying?
I'm trying to clarify this, Vicky. I'm trying to clarify this. I mean, you're saying it's wrong for Australia to burn coal, but it's right for China to burn coal. Is that right?
I am asking you why you are going around to the coal industries and saying that their jobs are under threat, that the coal industry is under threat because of the increase.
Yeah. Okay, well, why I'm saying that is because the whole point of a carbon tax is to reduce our emissions by making producing power in emitting ways more expensive. That's the whole point of it, Vicky. If it doesn't make coal more expensive, it doesn't work. That's the whole point of it. Now, if coal is more expensive, there'll be a lot less of it used over time. That's the whole point of a carbon tax. Now, I also draw your attention to the documents that the government put out on the weekend, which showed that coal, which currently produces almost 80% of Australia's power, is going to reduce to just 10% of Australia's power by 2050.
That's for energy, that's not for steel production.
Okay, but the vast majority of coal production around the world is for the production of energy.
And there's alternatives to that.
Well, there is, but if thermal coal is no longer used, that's going to be pretty bad for the coal industry.
Well, in answer to that question, you have still not said why you are going around saying to people that their jobs are under threat.
Because if coal goes from 80% of power generation to 10% of power generation, as the government's own documents state, that's obviously got pretty big implications for the coal industry.
It's not going to shut down.
Well, it's going to go from 80% of power to 10% of power on the government's own documents. I think we're going to have to agree to disagree on this one, Vicky. But thank you for your point.
Could I just add that I would hope there are other people with a social conscience in regard to your last answer that would be happy to subsidise those less fortunate in the community if it means a better future for our children and grandchildren. And I, for one, may have to pay an extra $10 a week. I'm happy to do that for the future.
And Vicky, good on you. Good on you. Good on you. What makes our society special is the commitment that so many of us have to building a better world. And I think I am just as committed as you are, or as the Prime Minister is, to building a better world. It's just that I honestly and sincerely and idealistically think that I can do it differently. That's all.
We'll agree to disagree.
Thanks, Vicky. But just to follow up quickly on that, do you really think the coal industry is going to stop growing in the next decade or two?
Well, it depends upon China and India, obviously. Now, if China and India keep growing massively, our coal industry will continue to meet part of their needs. But if coal in Australia becomes relatively more expensive because of the carbon tax, obviously our competitors who don't face the same handicap will expand their size of the Chinese and Indian markets.
All right, let's get our next question.